Good day, everyone. Um, Welcome to this life sciences tutoring session. I hope that we are all prepared for what is about to happen today. Um, my name is Rapulu Ropuluswa, and we'll be doing this revision together. And I hope we are all prepared. We have our notes and we have everything prepared with us. Um, okay, so can you comment if you are hearing me and there's no network problems or anything like that? Okay, I do see some people here. Let me start today. Just want to start with teaching a topic and then we'll do our 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 question papers later based on those topics, right? I think that will help us. So now I want to start with topic of evolution. You say it's the quality. Okay, I think as time goes on, when your network gets used to it, it'll be fine. Don't panic on the quality. Right. So why do we have evolution in the world? Why do we have evolution? Why do we have to evolve in the first place? Right? You have to know that evolution, we evolve because we want to have variation. We evolve uh because we need variation amongst species. Right. So, what are these sources of variation? Or let me say, what causes us to be varied from each one of us? Myself, I have a very dark color. Another one will be very light. Another one will be very tall. That is variation. So the sources of variation, I like to do it like this. Whenever you're in the exam room and then they ask you about the sources of variation, you will write down and say Mr. So in our Mr, we're going to have two M's and what? Three R's. Right, let's go. Um, these two M's, let me write, these two M's and three R's have different meanings. The first source of variation is mutation. The second source of variation would be meiosis. Meiosis and this one, this first R are the same thing because it will be what? Random arrangement of chromosomes. During metaphase 1 and 2. Random arrangement of chromosomes at the equators of the cell during metaphase 1 and metaphase 2. Then another R is for random fertilization. Are we together there? Another one would be random mating. Are we in understanding? Are we following each other? Why we have variation? The sources of variation, I plugged you with a new way of knowing it. It is Mr. And I say Mr. will be between 2 and what? And 3. 2 M's and 3 R's. Mutation and what? And meiosis. And then I said meiosis is the same as random arrangement of chromosomes in in the cell during metaphase 1 and metaphase 2. Then we're going to say random fertilization is our other point, and then random mating is our other point. So that's how I will choose to introduce this topic of evolution. Right. Now there are two people who brought uh evolution, or who had theories evolution. There's this man called Lamarck, and then there's this man called Darwin. Right. Lamarck and Darwin had different theories of evolution, but they both helped us to have the 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 understanding that we have right now of what? Of of evolution. Okay. We're going to start with this man called Lamarck. This man was so deterministic. He was, and also his theory did not have any evidence, right? So he's saying that evolution we evolution happens because of the inheritance of acquired characteristics. Right. He's saying that the traits or characteristics that are obtained during an organism's lifetime are passed on to the offsprings. So what is it basically? If in my life something happens that I start changing color, if I if I was born if I was born black, if I was born black, and then at some point I then start using products for me to be white, right? He's saying that my kids, all of them would be white, provided that my change of color is not genetic. He's saying that if ever we're saying that I am sick, I obtain a sickness during my life, my life, or let me not say my sickness. Let's say I have two legs, and then during my lifetime, I now cut my leg, and then it becomes one leg. My offspring, all of them will have one leg. So that's what he's saying. So, is it true that whenever I cut my leg, and then when I go and reproduce, I'll pass on that cut leg to my offspring? No, it's not true. Meaning that this cannot be proven by genetics. Because when I was born, my genotype says I have two legs. My genotype say I'm black. The only reason why I'm changing the way I appear, but it does not affect my genotype. Therefore, I cannot send that characteristic to my offspring. Another law he came up with, he said, he came with the law of use and disuse. Okay, the law of use and disuse is saying that let's talk about the law of use first. When an organism uses a structure or an organ more often, the structure becomes more developed and eventually enlarges and becomes stronger. Are we together there? So, how do we explain the law of use and disuse? How do I explain this? He's saying that if ever myself I am using my hand more often, boys, let's respect. Okay, let's continue. We're saying that he's saying that if I'm using my hand more often, if let's say this is my hand, and then I use it to reach for stuff that are above the tree, eventually my hand will enlarge, will become long, and will will be strong. So what does that mean? Does that mean that humans could now, when they want to evolve and then when they want to reach something that is above, they do that? No. You understand that um Lamarck was being too deterministic, and also his laws have no proof, have no evidence. So then this leads us to understanding, or this is talking about reasons why Lamarck's theories were rejected. Okay, this is why Marx's theories were rejected, right? Okay, we're saying that there was there was no genetic, or let me say, there was no evidence of his theory. Okay, and then let's continue. And then we're saying that his theory is too deterministic Um, why? Okay. Organisms do not evolve because because they want to. Then this leads us to the next one. This leads us to the next thing. How do we answer these genetic questions regarding Lamarck in our exam room, right? Exam type question regarding Lamarckism, right? Um, let's say they give us a name of a species. They say flightless African birds. Then they say explain how Lamarck would have concluded the formation of African flightless birds. Then I'm going to say 6 marks. And then 6 marks means I'm going to give you only 2 minutes. This is just a practice question, guys. I'm going to give you 2 minutes. In these 2 minutes, I'll give you 2 minutes to write, meaning that in 1922, you should be done. And if you're comfortable enough, you can post your answers here, and then you check if you're correct. Okay, guys, time is up. Um, I hope we tried to write something. I hope we got something out of this, and let's do some correction because this was just a workout, right? Okay. So when you answer this type of questions from Lamarck, if it's 6 marks, you have to include both laws, the law of um inheritance, tense of acquired, ish, acquired characteristics, and law of use and disuse. Okay, let's see how we can get that 6 marks now. You must tell us what was there initially, right? What was there initially? Then what happened to it? What happened to that thing that was there initially? And then leading to what? And then what are the consequences of that? Let me show you how we could do that now for 6 marks. 6 marks is 6 points. Remember, I'm going to say initially all African birds had feathers or could fly. So now what happened? Due to the disuse of the feathers or wings, let me say wings, the wings became smaller, less developed, and they eventually disappeared. Are we still together? Then this, let me, acquired characteristic was passed on to the offsprings. And then the last one will be all offsprings of African birds became flightless. We have how many points? One, two, three, four, five. I forgot to include the first point there, which is according to Lamarck. Did you get that one? Now, what if the question now comes only with maybe, or they say using the law of use and disuse? Explain. Now, you are going to say, according to Lamarck, okay, I can't see my pen. Where is it now? Okay, according to Lamarck, should be your first point. Then you say initially, and then you say due to the use and due to the disuse, and then you end here. You end here on the fourth point. It will be 4 marks. If it's 3 marks, you don't mention according to Lamarck, right? Then I don't think they can ask you according to the law of acquired inheritance of acquired characteristics. If they do, you may start here. Due to uh, the wings became smaller, less developed, and then they eventually disappeared. This acquired characteristic was passed on to the offspring. All offspring of African birds became what? Flightless. We got that one. Okay, then there's another man who said Lamarck is too crazy. What he's saying cannot happen. And then that man was Darwin. What did Darwin say? Darwin said that evolution is by natural selection, meaning that the environment chooses which characteristic or organisms should survive based on its conditions. So, how does Darwin explain this thing of natural selection? Let's go. Natural selection. Okay, should I give you time to write what you think natural selection is? Or should I just write the points? Okay, I think I should just write the points and then everyone will be fine. Then, okay, there is a great deal of variation amongst organisms of the same species. Some have favorable characteristics, and then we're going to say, um, and some do not. When there is a change in the environmental conditions, e.g., competition or whatever you might think of. They can give you an environmental condition. They could give you for bacteria, they could say when they're exposed to antibacteria, right? So you must know that it's an environmental condition, right? Then going further, I'm going to say organisms with a favorable characteristic survive. Those without or those with an unfavorable characteristic will do what? Will die. So let me will die. Then what happens to the organisms what happens now to the organisms which have survived? They will reproduce. Um organisms reproduce and pass on the allele to their offspring. There will be no, there will be a greater proportion of offspring with a favorable characteristic in the in the population. Are we good there? Holisani Mawasani, you can ask. Okay, then this concludes natural selection. This is revision, guys. I don't want to just explain, but right, when it comes to points, when it comes to points, make sure that all these points are there. If ever it comes with 6 marks, the points that I usually decide to sacrifice, because as you can see, these are how many points? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If it comes with 6 marks, uh I usually sacrifice this one and then combine them and make them one. How do I do that? Organisms with a favorable characteristic survive, and then I use, and those without will die. Then this means that my 6 marks, my 6 points will be there inside, right? Okay, let's go further. Then this thing of natural selection will tell us or will lead us to something called punctuated equilibrium. Right. It will lead us to something called punctuated equilibrium. I am planning to, okay, there. Punctuated equilibrium. They are saying that in punctuated equilibrium, I just want to draw a nice line here and then another line here. Okay, this is not nice. There. And then in punctuated equilibrium, there will be, let me do this. Okay, let me try doing this. Might come like this tomorrow, right? So this this right here will show, oh, I made a mistake here. They shouldn't be equal. I want them to be very perfect. I want them to be very perfect. There's a very, very short time of evolution, but yeah, this one is perfect. Yeah, this one is perfect. And then this side, I'm going to write evolution. And then this side, I'm going to write time in years. Now, as you can see, let's say time is in each and every 5 million years. In million years. Okay, let me say million years ago, it's fine. 5, 10, 15, 20, 20, 25, 30, then 35. Right. Okay. Yeah, let me say million. Yes, not. So as you can see here, from 0 to 5 million years, there was what? There was evolution. And then there was a long time of no evolution. And then suddenly there was evolution here. And then after that, within even 5 million years, then there was a long time of no evolution. And then evolution went on and came and happened here. And then it stopped here. Then it means that there will be no a long time of what? Of no evolution. This graph works like that. It means that here there could be what? An increase in competition. There could be an increase in competition. Also here could be an increase in competition. It could be change in the environmental condition. Also here it will be the same. Also here it will be the same. Okay, let me continue. I wanted you to digest that. And then here there's no change. Reason why there's no change is because the environmental conditions are the same, right? But if there's a change in the environmental condition, of course, there must be a change. Do we understand that one? The kid is asking, "Sir, we're allowed to write in point form in the exam." Actually, um, most of the time, right, for you to not confuse the examiner, I like to write in point form so that I I know what is a point and what is not a point, right? Because when we mark there, they are marking points. And if you're writing exactly what is in the memo, you are sorted, guys. You understand? Okay. What is punctuated equilibrium? Let us define. Can I have people commenting what is punctuated equilibrium? Can I get the comments there? What is punctuated equilibrium? What do you think punctuated equilibrium is? Can I have people commenting what is punctuated equilibrium? Can I get the comments there? What is punctuated equilibrium? What do you think punctuated equilibrium is? Okay, let's continue. Um, I hope we understand uh, uh what we are writing, and then I'm going to say evolution that involves a long period of okay, species not changing and a short period where rapid changes occur. So I see your answers there. These are very correct, and this is what we want. This is the definitions that we want of punctuated equilibrium. Now, this natural selection also leads to the formation of new species, which is called what? Speciation. Speciation is the formation of new species. So the formation of new species leads to what? Increase in biodiversity. It varies with what? With extinction. Extinction deals with a decrease in biodiversity. We understand? Then let's check the points for speciation. If you want to write in point form, I really do advise writing in point form. I've never seen people writing in paragraph form. But yeah, let's write in point form, guys. So when we talk about speciation, right? When two organisms of the no, when two species, no, when two populations, sorry, when two relations of the same species are separated by a geographical barrier. The population split, the population split, there will be no gene flow. And then when there's no gene flow, the two populations will be exposed to different selection pressures. Natural selection takes place independently, independently such that the populations become different both genotypically and phenotypically, even though they were to meet again, they would not be able to interbreed and produce a fertile offspring since they are now they are now populations of different species. Are we okay there? So let me make a difference between natural selection and artificial selection. Then we go to human evolution. I want to go there very quickly. Then we'll talk about reproductive mechanisms later. Reproductive isolating mechanisms later. Then, sorry, there we go. There we go again. This line doesn't want to be straight. There we go. There we go. Then let me just put it like that. It's fine. So natural selection and artificial selection. So we have three points for each. Here we're going to talk about the environment is the selective force. And then here we're going to have humans act as a selective force. And then I'm going to draw my line here. Then another one will be selection. Selection happens in response to the environment. then yes, selection is to satisfy human needs. And then here, the last point, this one I'm just going to make an ugly line, occurs within a species. And then this one occurs can involve more than one species, meaning that we can do what? We can cross breed. Are we okay? Okay, now let's go to human evolution. Then we go to the question papers because evolution was the only topic that was stressing me, but the rest we will deal with them in the what? In the question papers. Then in human evolution, humans and African apes are similar, right? In human evolution, we compare humans and African apes. Then, how do we compare them? How do we reach a point where we compare them? I'm going to say humans and African apes both have a large brain, and then they have eyes in the front. Do not be scared to draw this on your scribbler tomorrow so that you know. And then they have freely rotating arms. Then they both have rotation around their elbow joints. And then a longer a longer upper arm. And then we're going to have bare finger tips and nails instead of claws. And then we're going to have an opposable thumb. Opposable thumb. Then we're going to draw then an upright posture. Those are all the similarities between humans and African apes, which are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. If you know them like this, you can just draw this tomorrow and then you'll be fine, guys. And then what would be the differences? The differences, okay, the differences between African apes and humans. Then I'm going to say in the foramen magnum, foramen magnum is the first difference. The foramen magnum for humans, it is at the forward position. And then in African apes, backward position. And then another one would be the cranium. The cranium. Humans have a large cranium, and then apes, African apes, have a smaller cranium. Meaning, what does this mean? They say there's a question that will say, what does a large cranium suggest about humans, right? So we're going to say the cranium houses the what? The brain. Meaning that a larger volume of the cranium suggests a larger what? Will suggest a larger what? A larger brain. A large brain is associated with high intelligence. Are we okay? Then let's go further. We're going to the spine. The spine, humans have an S-shaped spine for what? For bipedalism. And then African apes will have what? A C-shaped spine. Then we go further to the what? To the teeth. Or let me say the canines. Humans have small canines. Canines. And then African apes have what? Large canines. The question regarding canines would be, um, what does this suggest about their diet, right? Humans have small canines because they they eat processed or cooked what? Food, which doesn't require what? Which doesn't require much biting what? Force. But African apes eat what? Raw uh, food and strong branches of plants, which require what? Which require a large biting force. Okay, I should be quick. Okay, I'll be quick right now. Very quick. Um, what about the jaws? They say I must be quick. If you're saying that I must be quick, all of you must say yes, 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 so that I can be with you. Okay. We go to the jaws. The African apes have what? Have protruding jaws, and humans have do not have a protruding jaw, meaning that are non-prognathous and African apes are prognathous. Let's put that in writing. Humans, um, non-prognathous. Then we go to African apes. Apes will be prognathous. Okay, let's go to the palette shape. Someone told me that they don't know what a palette shape is. What is a palette? A palette is that base on top of your tongue. How is it shaped? For humans, it's like this, and then for apes, it's more like this. So meaning that for humans, it's what? It's semicircular, or let me say it's circular. Uh, Let me say semicircular, circular palates, which are also which are small. And then for apes, they will be what? They'll be bigger. Apes bigger and rectangular. Okay, let's go to cranial ridges. Cranial ridges. Humans, let me say humans, and then apes, A. Humans, they have no cranial ridges. And then African apes, more pronounced. And then we have brow ridges. Humans, less pronounced. And then African apes, they'll be what? More pronounced. And then, yeah, we are done with the difference between the African apes the and humans. So this one of that table of knowing who discovered what and who didn't discover what, um, I believe that we all know it. So let's go. Let me show you something. Um, Fossil evidence. The fossil evidence, I always write MTK RRL MTK RRL BDB. Right. Then M is for Mrs. Bless. Then we know that it's Robert what? Broom. Then Town Child will be Raymond. That am I saying this right? Arabo will be Lee Berger. No, I don't think I'm saying this right, guys. Okay, if I didn't do it right, I will tell you, but this is what I write. I say MTK RRL BBB. And then there's Homo sapiens, sapiens, who were discovered by Tim White. And then anything after that, mostly it will be discovered by Tim White. Tim White discovered so many things, right? Then let's say the out of Africa hypothesis. Out of Africa hypothesis. The out of Africa hypothesis states that all modern humans originated in Africa and then migrated to other parts of the world. Then we're going to start now showing the evidence. There is fossil evidence for this. If they say give the fossil evidence, it will be 3 marks. But the compulsory mark, I will show you which one you will say. Okay. Then we're going to say the fossil evidence. Fossil evidence. We're going to start from the beginning of the table. We know that the most primitive are the what? Are the Adi, The, He, Kas. Am I saying Adi? No. He. Adi, P, The, Kas, and then the Astra, Lo, P, The, Kas, Adipithecus, Australopithecus, and then we're going to start with the Homo habilis, uh, habilis, and then the Homo erectus, then the Homo sapien. So the last two were only found in what? Were not only found in Africa, but their oldest were found in what? In Africa, right? So here these two will only talk about the oldest, but here we'll be talking about only they are only found in Africa. Then let's state the fossil evidence. Ardipithecus Thecus fossils were only found in Africa. Second point, Australopithecus, Australopithecus fossils were only found in Africa. Then the Homo habilis were only found in Africa. And then 1, 2, 3, and then the fourth one is the oldest fossil of Homo erectus were found in Africa. The oldest fossil of Homo sapien were only found in Africa. Are we okay there? Someone is saying, can we have grade 8 natural sciences term 4 2025 for Limpopo? Okay, we shall deal with that, right? We shall deal with that. It shall happen. Don't worry. Then another one is genetic evidence. So we're going to say mitochondrial DNA is only inherited from the maternal line. And then this showed that the mitochondrial DNA of the oldest uh, this shows that the mitochondrial DNA of the oldest fossil that was found in Africa was related to all humans. All humans descended from okay. I want us now to go to question papers. I want us to go to the first question paper. No, the 2021. Um, should we deal with the okay, let's deal with section A for both question papers, and then we can go to section B for both question papers. Um, in question section A, question 1, there are 4 questions, meaning that I'm gonna give you only 2 minutes to write this, and then you tell me what you've written. Okay, 2 minutes. Then by 2024, we should be done. Yeah, we can start. Hey guys, time is up. Let's continue. Um, they say which of the following may result into Down syndrome in humans? So whenever we are answering our question one, when it comes to choosing between A, B, C, D, please do not read before you have your own answer, right? We say that Down syndrome is caused by what? By non-disjunction, meaning that the failure to separate four chromosome 21 to separate. Therefore, let's go and check in our answers here. Is it there? A gene mutation. We did not talk about mutation. Therefore, A is not correct. A failure for chromosome 21 to separate during anaphase 1. Okay, we have this one. Let's just tick it for a while. Failure for gonosome. What are gonosome? Gonosomes are sex chromosome, and chromosome 21 is not a sex chromosome. Therefore, we are we are crushing it. Then they say a gene mutation occurs. We didn't talk about a gene mutation. Therefore, we are going to have B as our answer. We all got it, ne? The variation within a species is introduced through, I said, whenever we think of variation, we think of what? Of Mister. We're going to have mutation. We're going to have meiosis. We're going to have reproduction. Random arrangement. Then we have random mating and random fertilization. Then let's check. Here they're saying that African no variation within a species is introduced through, let's see, random mating. Did we talk about random mating? Yes. Asexual reproduction? No. Therefore, A is out. Then B, mitosis. Did we talk about mitosis? No. We talked about what? Meiosis. Random mating? Yes. Random fertilization? Yes. Mitosis? And meiosis, no, we don't have it there because we see random mating is there and random fertilization is here. Therefore, what? C is our answer. You see? Then let's go further. African apes and humans are similar. Both have, remember that thing we drew at the beginning. Remember that thing we drew at the beginning when we were taking lesson. We said that do not be scared to draw on your scribbler there. Do not be scared to draw on your scribbler. They won't do anything. It's your scribbler after all. So we say that they both have a what? A large brain. And then we say they have what? Eyes in the front. Then we say that they have what? Freely rotating arms. And then upper arm. And then we're going to have in the elbow rotation around the what? The elbow joints. Then we're going to have bare finger tips, and those bare fingertips must have what? With nails instead of claws. Then they will have an opposable thumb. And then another thing we said it's a what? It's an upright posture. Are we okay? Then let's check. Let's see. Do we have small jaws there? No. Do we have well-developed broad ridges there? No. Then opposable thumbs, we have it. Bare fingertips, we have it. Okay? Then let's check. Gaps between their teeth. Did we talk about gaps? No. Then an upright posture, yes. Cranial ridges, no. Therefore, our answer is what? Is B. Then let's go to 1.1.4. The diagram below shows tick, technique, rosé, whatever, a fish that may be an ancestor of the first organism to live on air, on what? On land. Okay, let's check. According to Lamarck, what does Lamarck say? Lamarck says that has the law of disuse or what? Or use, and also the acquired characteristics. So, so now this fish may have been an ancestor of the first organism to live on what? On land. And we can see its what? Its fins here. It means that this fish could have used its fins more often, which made it become what? More bigger, more developed, and then they were able to walk. And then that characteristic was then sent to the what? To the offspring. Let's see. Now, undergoing natural genetic mutations which caused the fins. No, it doesn't. We didn't talk about natural selection. It is not because of Lamarck. Then uh passing on the acquired characteristics of fins to their offspring. No, stretching its fins and using them for walking. D is our answer. Remember, are we together there? I see someone is saying it's C. It's not C. 1.1.4. It's not C. It's D. Why am I saying it's D? C is the characteristics of what? Of fins. And the fins are already there and it was not acquired. If we're saying that the characteristic that was acquired and then sent to the what? To the offspring, it is the characteristics of strong fins. But it's not just fins. Fishes already have fins, right? But them, they stress their fins and then they use them for walking, which made them develop and become more strong. Okay, sorry. I just went to the memorandum. I didn't even know there was a memorandum here. I wanted to go to 1.5. Okay, until 1.6. Let's do this one. And I'm giving you only 2 minutes or a minute. Okay, time is up. Time is up. And then let's go to 1.1.5. The diagram below shows some of the processes, molecules, and structures that are involved in the protein synthesis. Then in number one, they say process one. What process happens here? We have in number one, it's what? It's transcription. Then they say structure number two. Structure number two refers to the whole of this, which is the what? The nucleus. nucleus, whatever. Nucleus, but whatever the spelling is. Then they say molecule number three. Number three, it is the molecule that is being produced from here. What is being produced? It is the what? The messenger RNA. Then let's check. Where there's transcription, we are going to tick. It's transcription and transcription. Where there's nucleus, we're going to tick. And then where there's mRNA, we're going to tick. And then which one has all our ticks is C. Then our answer is C. Then let's go to 1.1.6. A homozygous purple flower. A homozygous means that all alleles are the same. It's PP, which are capital P's, right? And then it's crossed with a pink flower, meaning that the pink flower is also homozygous, but what? Recessive. Then they say to produce an F1 generation. Then what does the F1 generation consist of? Let's see. We draw a Punnett square. Going to draw a Punnett square here. Then P and P, capital P and small p, and then capital P and small p, capital P and small p, capital P and small p. Right. These are the F1 generation, capital P and what? Small p. Four of them, right? Then they say one of the F1 plants is crossed with a pink flowering parent to produce the F2 generation, meaning that this will also be crossed again with what? With pink. Then we're going to have this using the Punnett square. I love using the Punnett square because it's more easier. Then I'm going to show capital P and small p and small p, capital P and small p, small p and small p, meaning that we're going to have two pp and two small p's, and then which gives us a ratio of what? 1:1, because 2 and 2 is the same. Then let's see, this one will be one what? One purple, and then this one will be what? Pink. Therefore 1:1, one purple, one pink. Then we just go in there and choose our answer, which is what? Which is A. Can we just do 1.7? Just 1.7. I'll do it for you guys, right? And then I said, which of the following scientists discovered Homo sapiens and Ardipithecus? I said the following. I said MTKRRL what? BDB. Right. Mrs. Pless, Downchild, Carabo, Raymond, Robert Broom, Raymond Dart, Lee Berger. And then I said the one who's an outlier of them all is what? Is Tim White. Because he discovered too many things, which is what? Ardipithecus and the what? And the Homo sapien. Meaning that Tim White, let's check. Is he here? Tim White is here. 1.1.7 is Tim White. Okay, let's go to 1.8. Let's do 1.8 and 1.9 only. Okay, time is up. Then let's go to 1.1.8. The diagram below compares characteristics of wild sunflowers and sunflowers that have been artificially selected. Then let's go. Wild sunflowers, the plant height is greater, and then artificial, it's smaller. And then here we're going to have the diameter being smaller, and then here being larger. And then here we're going to have the number of branches being more, and then here there's nothing. And then leaf area is smaller, then here is higher. Then let's check. Which of the following characteristic was found undesirable by what? By humans. The undesirable characteristic should be completely or should be reduced or completely removed. Right. So which one was completely removed here from the from this species? The number of what? The number of branches. And then which one was reduced? Let's see, plant height was was from 153 to 170. Then that is the thing. Meaning that these two were plant height and number of branches were undesirable. Therefore, we're going to look for plant height and number of branches. Which one is it? D. Okay, let's continue to 1.1.9. We were teaching each other about punctuated equilibrium just now. Punctuated equilibrium suggests the following. Evolution is always slow and gradual process. No, natural selection does not explain evolution. No, new species can appear quickly over a relatively short period of time. Yes, artificial selection is the only. Then we're going to have number C. Then let's do 1.10 together. So 1.10 says a group of students observe that the long-term use of antibiotics result in the decreased control of bacterial infection. They realized from this investigation, students stated that antibiotic resistance in bacteria is caused by a long-term use of antibiotics. Right. Then, what is a theory? A theory is an idea, right? We cannot test a theory, right? But it is just an idea, right? Then can we test this one? Let's check. We can test whether bacteria antibiotic resistance in bacteria is caused by long-term use of antibiotics. Then the aim is what we are aiming for in the investigation. Is this our aim? Are we aiming for antibiotic resistance in bacteria to be caused? No. Then hypothesis. It is a testable statement. Can we test this that we're talking about? Yes, we can test it. Is it a conclusion? No. A conclusion will tell us what we saw. A conclusion will talk about increase and what? And decrease. So it's not a conclusion, it's not an aim, it's not a theory. Therefore, it's a hypothesis. Are we good there? Okay, let me give you another one. So I want us to answer 1.1 to 1.4. I'm giving you only 3 minutes. Okay, you're done. And let's continue. The DNA and RNA are examples of amino acids. No. Enzymes? No. Nucleic acids? Could be the answer. Proteins? No. Therefore, our answer is C. Which of the following is a product of meiosis? The product of meiosis should be a what? A haploid cell. Meaning that if we are having four chromosomes should have a half number of chromosomes, right? Let's check. The muscle cell. A muscle cell is formed by mitosis, and then ovary. An ovary is a structure of the what? Of the female reproductive system where an ovum is produced. Therefore, it's not it. The nerve cell is not it. The ovum should be our answer. An individual is heterozygous of a harmful. An individual is heterozygous of a harmful recessive allele. Let's say harmful recessive allele. If it's recessive, I'm going to say, um, let's just say recessive, but is unaffected by it. So if someone is unaffected, therefore there is a dominant allele. Which of the following best describes the genetic composition of this individual? Two dominant allele. No, we said this is a dominant and then this is a recessive. Therefore, A is not the answer. One harmful recessive allele. Is this harmful recessive? No. Therefore, no. One harmful recessive? No. One harmful dominant allele and one normal. Then this is correct. Okay, we know that the DNA is located in the nucleus, right? So, and then I've heard. Okay, so let's continue. Let's continue to 1.4. Person blood has a genotype of um A and I for the blood type. For blood type, this person's blood group is, because this A will mask this O, therefore we have A is our answer. Then 1.1.5. Okay, you say 1.1.3. Did I say D? Okay, let's check again. Let's check again. Let's check again. 1.1.3. I've made a mistake. They say, let's go again. Let's see if I made a mistake. Um, okay, let's go about it and see how we're doing. An individual with heterozygous for harmful recessive allele but is unaffected. Which one of the following Let's describe the genetic composition of this individual. Then I said that because the recessive allele is harmful, and then it means that the normal one is dominant, therefore RR. This person is unaffected. This one, the dominant one, is not harmful, and then the recessive one is what? Is harmful. Then let's check. Two dominant alleles? Nope, this is not correct. One harmful recessive allele, sorry. One harmful recessive allele, recessive we see there, it's harmful, and one harmful, no, then because this one is not harmful. Then one harmful recessive, recessive here it is, and one normal dominant, yes. So it means that C is our answer. So one, D is not our answer because one harmful dominant allele. Dominant allele, harmful is not dominant because it's what? It's recessive. I hope we understand. Okay, let's go again to 1.1.5. 1.1.5, in a car accident. In a car accident, the biological father of a girl and three other men were killed. The men could not be identified due to their injuries. DNA profiling was used to identify the girl's father. The diagram below shows the DNA profile of the girl, her mother, the mother, and the woman. Okay, let's check. Here we must be able to determine who is the father. They're saying which one of the men is most likely to have been the father of the girl. Look here, trying to draw a straight line. Okay, let me. So the girl has this one. I'm trying to draw a straight line, but it's not allowing me to. There. Then another one that belongs to the girl is this one. There we go. Another one is this one. There we go. Then another one is this one. Okay, I should restart this one. Okay, there we go. The last one, is this one. It's not properly placed. Let me put it properly. There we go. You can't see the questions clearly, Ivan. Okay, I'll make a plan. Let me make a plan. I will make a plan, don't worry. Okay, now in the girl for this one matches with the mother and what? Men one and what? And men two. But there's a high chance that the girl got this from who? From her mother, right? The girl in this second one, she matches with this one and men two and men three, right? Meaning that we are ruling this out because she could have gotten this one from her mother. Then does she has this one matching with men two and men three, and also she has this one matching with her mother. meaning that you could have gotten it from who? From her mother. Then this one matches with this one, with the mother, and also matches with the father. Then with men 3. This shows that men 3 has a high chance, even though we're saying that this is included. Men 3 has how many ticks? One, two, three ticks. And then these two have one, two, and one, two. As you can see, men 3 is likely to be the father. Therefore, man 3 is the father, or is likely to be the father. You are 99.99% the father. Gastrema. Okay, let's go further. The DNA template strand holds for the amino acid serine with any of the following base triplets. Right. A, let's see. Let's try to make a table here. Let's try to make a table. Okay, this one doesn't want to be straight, but we can make it straight. Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. And how many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I hope they fit. 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's check the one. The first one is AGA. The second one is AGG. AGG. Third one is AGT. The fourth one is TCA. The fifth one is TCG. The sixth one is AGC. Then let's check. How do I know this one? I know it by saying all teachers get chocolate unwillingly. Then when you see A, when it comes to an anticodon, when it comes to an anticodon, you must put what? U. Then U, A, U. When you see G, you must put C. When you see A, you must put what? U. Do we see UCU there? No. Therefore, this one is not the answer. Then AGG. When you see A, you must put what? U. When you see G, you must put CC. Do you see UCC there? No. Then AGT, when you see T, you must put U. When you see G, you must put C. When you see T, you must put A. UCA, do we have that here? No. Then TCA. TCA, when you see T, you must put what? A. When you see C, you must put what? G. When you see A, you must put U. You have AGU here? No. TCG. When you see T, you must put what? A. When you see C, you must put G. When you see G, you must put C. Do you have AGC there? No. AGC, when you see A, you must put what? U. When you see G, you must put what? C. When you put C, you must see, we must see what? G. So you must see UCG. We have it there. Therefore, our answer is what? Is B. Are we fine? Okay, let's go to 1.1.7. I'm giving you a minute to do this one. Okay, let's continue. 1.1.7. It says the diagram below represents two phases of meiosis. Two phases of meiosis. Which one of the following represents the correct sequence of phases between phase A and phase B? Right. Which so we must know that there is the what? The IP mat. And the IP mat, the I in the IP mat only works in meiosis 1. Then let's see here. Prophase. If we are starting, we must start with prophase 1, right? If we are starting with prophase 1, let's see. Prophase 1. Then after prophase 1, there must be metaphase 1. Here there's no metaphase 1, therefore it's dead. Is there any other place with prophase 1? No. Okay, let's go and look for another place where there is metaphase 1. So where is metaphase 1? Metaphase 1 must be followed by anaphase. Therefore, this one is out. Then another place where there's metaphase, we do not see another place where there is metaphase. Then metaphase is gone. Then let's check anaphase, right? Anaphase 1. Anaphase 1 should be followed by telophase. Here it's followed by metaphase. Therefore, this one is not correct. Anaphase 1 should be followed by telophase, then prophase 2, then metaphase 2, and anaphase 2. Therefore, our answer is what? It's C. Okay, let me go further. No, I don't want to go further in terms of, yeah, let's write 1.1.8. I'm giving you a minute. Okay, let's continue. Says the effect of mutation. Oh, okay. The effect of mutation, let me go. Effect of mutation. Okay, we'll talk about it. You say we only change T on what? On, okay, let's see. Let's see. I want to see that one. I want to see that one where you said we only change T. Okay, remember, where do we only change T? The DNA template strand codes for an amino acid with the following base triplet. The base triplet, okay, I did not draw the base triplet. It's a base quadruplet if there's such. Okay, the base triplet, right? Okay, the base triplet, let's say this is ACC, right? And then when it makes a codon, that's when we're going to change what? Only T. Then that codon will summon an anticodon that is different from it. That's why we're going to change all of this stuff. But here they want a what? An anticodon. right? But if it's a base triplet to what? To to a codon, we only change what? Change T, right? And if it's from from DNA to base triplet, we change everything, but we still include what? T. Then when we go there, we then change T, and then when we come to an anticodon, we change everything. You understand? Okay, let's do 1.1.8. The diagram below represents a process that occurs during protein synthesis. So let's check. Which one of the following is correct? Okay, let's check. S represents an anticodon. S does not represent an anticodon. S represents a whole amino acid. Then, then they say W represent, this is a peptide bond or a what? A protein. And then in a protein, they are what? They are peptide bonds. And then they say T represents what? T represents RNA. Yes, this one is an RNA, not just any RNA, a tRNA. Then this will be the anticodon. Then V will then represent a what? The codon. Okay, Skolofelo is not agreeing to my thing, what I'm saying. Where is that question? 1.1 point what? Point 6. Let's understand the question properly, guys. Let's understand the question properly. It doesn't need us to cram. Okay, let's go back. Okay, I am saying that we first have a DNA double helix, which will form a what? A base triplet. And then a base triplet becomes a what? A codon when it's outside, which will summon a what? An anticodon. Right. The DNA will then undergo what? Transcription. Transcription to form a what? A base triplet. Here you change what? Everything. And then when you convert the base triplet to the codon, only change T. And then when there's a codon, then codon to anticodon, change what? Everything. So that's how we came about with the answer. If colorful you don't understand, right now with me, I don't have a memo with me to convince you, but you can also go and check. You can go verify, but I'm still standing my ground on that one. Okay, let's do 1.1. Let's also do 1.2 and 1.3. Okay, let's answer the questions. The evidence of hominid culture can be found in the fossil record. This evidence would include tools and stones. Therefore, the answer is D. This one is easy. Give the correct biological term for each of the following descriptions. Write only the term next to the question numbers 1.2.1 and 1.2.6 in the answer book. A diagram, grammatic representation showing possible evolutionary relationships between different species. This is a what? This is a phylogenetic tree or a what? A cleidogram. The type of bond found between amino acid. Now, people do confuse a peptide bond and a hydrogen bond. A hydrogen bond is found between what? It is found between uh it is found between the DNA double helix, right? And then a peptide bond is found between amino acids. So you must be careful of that one, right? Therefore, it's going to be a what? A peptide bond. Okay, let's go further. Okay, this is too thick. Okay, let's go further and say the theory that describes the evolution as consisting of long periods of little or no change, alternating with short periods of rapid change. This will be what? Uh, punctuated, ated, equilibrium. Then let's go further. The similar structure that perform similar structure, similar structures that perform different functions in different organisms. These are what? These are homologous structures. Logous structures. The breeding of plants and animals by humans for desired characteristics. And then this, I would say, this is the what? This is this is selective breeding or artificial selection. Fisher, right. Then we go to the type of dominance where both alleles are represented in the phenotype. When both alleles, right, I'm going to give you this table, both, and then I'm going to say one, and then I'm going to say third. Then this will be my table here. Then here's my table. Then type of dominance. Then when both are represented, it's co-dominance. Then only one, it's complete dominance. Then, sorry, then when there's a third phenotype, incomplete dominance. Then let's go further. Okay, they say mechanisms of reproductive isolation, species specific courtship behavior. Then this is right. Breeding at different times of the year is right. Therefore, both A and B. A and B. Fossils found in South Africa, it will be Littlefield that is found uh, in a cave, and also Child, which was found in Taung, both A and B. I'm just scared to pronounce the name of the cave. Then Pepper's proposed the law of use and disuse. All of them are incorrect. Therefore, I'm going to say none. Because the one who proposed the law of disuse and use was who? Lamarck. Okay, then 1.1.1.4. Should I give you time to write? Okay, let's go. The diagram below represents part of the DNA molecule. W, X, Y, and Z. We're going to have the phosphate group, the sugar, and the nitrogenous base, and the hydrogen bonding. Then strand 1, then strand 2. Identify molecule X. Molecule X is the nitrogenous what? Base. Then sugar Y, it is the what? Deoxyribose sugar. Then bond W will be the hydrogen bond. Then give the collective name for part A, X, Y, and Z. A nucleotide. Nucleotide. Then state the natural shape of the DNA molecule, which is double helix. Then name the process whereby DNA makes a copy of itself. DNA replication. Then name two places in the animal cell where DNA is located, and it's located in the nucleus and what? The mitochondrion. Are we okay? So name the organ in the human male where meiosis occurs. Meiosis occurs in the what? In the testes. Then Then process in the diagram below. This is crossing over. Then area P. This is the chiasma or chiasmata. Then structure Q. This is the centromere. Structure R. This would be a chromatid. Are we okay? Okay, let's go to another question. They say 1.6. In humans, short fingers F and widow's peak H are dominant over long fingers and continuous hairline. Okay? And a man and a woman both heterozygous for the two characteristics plan on having a child. Okay? The table below shows the possible genotypes of the offspring. Then let's check what will be the genotype of the of offspring Z. Z will have F F H H. Right. Then state the genotype at, then it's gonna be small f and H H. Then the genotype of the parents. Therefore, the male will be F F and H. You're going to cross the first one of the male and with what? With this one. And then you're going to cross this one and this one to get the one of the male. To get the one of the female, you're going to do the same thing with what? Why is it using hearts? Ivan? With this one. So you're going to cross this one with this one and this one with this one, and you're going to get the same thing, which is F F H H. Let me write it properly. This one is not properly written. Okay, where is it? Okay, number of genotypes that could result in the offspring with short fingers and continuous hairline. Short fingers, short fingers is what? It is dominant, right? Continuous hairline is recessive. Therefore, we must first look for where the recessive is 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 um is represented, because the recessive is the one that is mostly favored here. So let's check. Here the recessive is represented, and also here it's not. Another place is here, another place is here, and another place we don't have other places. Now let's check where the dominant, it is what is present. Dominant is present here, and also here it's present, and also here is present. So let's check places where we have two ticks. One, two, three. Then we're going to have what? Three. Then allele for continuous hairline. Allele for continuous hairline would be H. Phenotype of a child who is homozygous recessive, homozygous recessive. Therefore, we're going to have F, F, and for both characteristics. Therefore, it's this child. This is the child, right? So this child would be what? Would be having long fingers, and a continuous hairline. Long fingers and a continuous hairline. So we are done with this one. Is this a dihybrid cross? Yes, it is a dihybrid cross where we cross two characteristics, but they are isolated. So now I want us to go to another question paper. We did this one, and I want us to finish it with 1.2. 1.2, similar structures in different organisms indicating descent with modification. I said what they are: homologous what? Homologous structures. Then they said large pointed teeth in African apes that are used for tearing food. We said they are canines. Then the part of the skull that houses the brain, we talked about the cranium. Then the non-sex chromosomes in humans. Non-sex chromosomes in human, we're going to talk about autosomes. Then the network the in which the network of genetic material found in the nucleus during interphase. This is the chromatin what? Network. The number, the shape, arrangement of all chromosomes in the nucleus of the somatic cell. This is the what? This is the karyotype. Type. Then having a protruding jaw. This is prognathous. Then let's see. Long and narrow pelvis. So African apes will have a long and narrow pelvis compared to a short and wide for 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 humans. Humans will have short but wide. But African apes will have a long and what? And narrow. African apes. Therefore, we're going to have A only as our what? As our answer. A only. The point of attachment between two overlapping chromatids. This is a what? The chiasma. The chiasma is our answer. Therefore, B only is our answer. Variation in human height. Variation in human height, it is a continuous variation. It's not discontinuous. Continuous. Okay, let's deal with 1.4. Then let's check here this diagram 1.4. The diagram represents all the chromosome in a cell that is undergoing what? Cell division. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are all the chromosomes in a cell, meaning that this is in a cell. And if If this is a diploid cell, a haploid cell is having 6, therefore you divide by 2 to get what? To get 3. Therefore, the resulting chromosomes will be 3. Then let's hear what they're going to say. Name, name the type of cell division that is occurring in the cell in the diagram. The type of cell division is what? Is meiosis. Because during meiosis, there's what? There's crossing over. But there's no crossing over in mitosis. Phase of the cell division during which chromosomes behave as shown in the diagram. It is what? Prophase 1. Not just any prophase. Because in interphase, there's what? There's DNA replication. Here there's what? Prophase 1. There's what? There is crossing over. Right. Where, where, where in the human female body will this type of cell division name in the take place? It will be in the ovaries. Then give the letter and the name of the structure that attaches to the spindle fibers. This is the centrosome. And then, no, centromere, sorry. Centrosome creates what? Spindle fibers. But C is the centromere, which does what? Which attaches. It attaches to what? To spindle fibers like this in a cell. But what makes the spindle fibers? It will be the centrosome. Then how many chromosomes will be found in each daughter cell? We said how many? 3 or 3. Let's write it like this. Okay, let's go further. I want 1.4. Oh, we're done with 1.4 actually. We want 1.5. This is another dihybrid cross from another year. They say there is a variation in the characteristics of fair color and fair texture in cats. The table below shows the alleles that control two characteristics, black for fair color, and then white is recessive, and then rough texture is dominant and smooth is recessive. The Punnett square below shows the inheritance of the alleles in the genetic cross. Okay, let's see. Then all possible gametes from female, all possible gametes from the male. Okay, dominant phenotype for fur color. What is the dominant phenotype for? We need the phenotype, right? Phenotype that is dominant is what? Is black. Then recessive phenotype for fur texture, which is smooth. Then genotype of offspring X should have crossed it at the beginning, by the way. BBRR. Therefore, it's going to have BBRR, right? Phenotype of the female parent. The female parent will have BBRR. Then, yes, the genotype of the male parent. Then I said you're going to cross this one with this one and what? And this one with this one. Then you're going to get what? You're going to get B, B, R, R. Then state the phenotype that all the offspring of this genetic cross have in common. It's all going to be what? A rough, fair texture. Rough, fair texture. Okay, going to another page. Did you do the terminologies yet? Yes, we are done. We did two question papers for terminologies, meaning that we have done at least 20 of the terminologies. Then Luan Lefait says which grade, this is grade 12. Then, yeah. Okay, let's go. Let's hear what they're going to say. The scientists, the scientists compare the number of differences of amino acid sequence to see how closely related species are. Fewer difference in the amino acids sequence mean that the species are more closely related. Okay, then cyto, cytochrome C is a protein that occurs in many species. The amino acid sequence of this protein differs between species. The table below shows the number of differences in the amino acid sequence of three species A, B, and C. Okay, which species are more closely related? We see that A and C are more closely related. Therefore, A and C should be next to each other. But they are saying that B is more closely related to C, right? Than what? Than A. Therefore, this should be closer to this one. Right. Let's see. What type of evolution is being used here? It is what? Genetic evidence. Then if the letter of the species ABC that could appear at position 1, 2, or 3. Okay, that could appear in position 1, 2, or 3, right? We say that the sequence should be what? A, C, B, right? Then I'm going to say A and C must be closely related to each other. Which ones are closely related to each other? A and C are closely related to this one, but A and yeah, should be like this. Therefore, one could be A, two could be C, three could be B. So, do we have to know the amino acids out of our head? No, no, no. There's no need to know them. They'll give you those amino acids. There are so many amino acids in the world, and you knowing them by head is like, hey, it's like unfair. It's very unfair. It is very unfair. Okay, we're done with section A. Then we're going to section B. No, no, this, hey guys, we are not leaking question papers. We're just making you understand how to answer these question papers. We are not leaking question papers. No, it's not frozen. I'm still here. Then let's go to section B. Okay, the diagram below represents two processes that occur during protein synthesis. Then we have a DNA being formed. Then we have the mRNA being formed. Then to form a what? A protein. Okay, it's fine. Then let's go. Which cell, where in the cell does each of the following processes occur? Process X. This one occurs in the what? Nucleus. This one occurs in the cytoplasm on the what? On the ribosome. Hey guys, no, it's not an illegal page. We are just helping you guys. So what process, where in the cell does each process X happens in the nucleus? Process Y happens in the cytoplasm. State one difference between the types of nitrogenous bases found in DNA and RNA. State one difference between the types of nitrogenous bases found between DNA and RNA. Right. So in the DNA, there is thymine, while in RNA, there is uracil. Name the process, name and describe the process what? X. Right. Okay. Process X is what? Is transcription. Let's write it at the top so that we don't have to go on another page. It's what? It's transcription. Transcription. So DNA double helix unwinds. Then when you say DNA double helix unwinds, then um the weak high, okay, let me say this. The DNA double helix unwinds, and then, where am I, guys? Okay, it's fine. Weak. I just want to start with whether I say unzip or then I say weak hydrogen bonds break, right? So I want to find. Okay, yeah. Let me know what to do. Okay, let me do this. See? Then I'm going to say the DNA strands unzip and then weak hydrogen bonds break. Then each strand to form two separate strands. Each strand, no, it's not each strand. We're talking about one strand, one strand. Yeah, we can do this. Yeah, we can do this. We can say unzip after, but yeah, the in the memo they just say what? And they will just say any in the memo they'll just say any six or any five. So one strand acts as a template for mRNA to form. Free nucleotides will then form a complementary strand, and then we're going to say mRNA is formed and is coded as a coded message for protein synthesis. Yeah, I tried to show that we should exchange these points. This one should come here and this one should come here so that we had written bond break and then the DNA strand will do what? Will unzip. Then they say describe how non-disjunction can lead to what? To to Down syndrome, right? Okay. When the chromosome pair 21 fail to separate during anaphase 1, the daughter cells will have 24 chromosomes extra chromosomes. Then I'm going to say when this gamete is fertilized by a normal gamete, the zygote will have 47 chromosomes. Are we okay? Okay, let's go to another page. What are somatic cells? Somatic cells, these are cells that make up, or let me say, these are diploid cells body organs and structures. Where are we? 2.3.1. Okay, let's go further. Name the specific chromosome. Name the specific type of chromosomes numbered 1 to 22. These are what? Autosomes. Then each of the pairs shown is a homologous pair of chromosome. Let's check. In chromosome 1, individual 1, there are two. Yes, two, 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 two. Seems normal. Then yeah, this person is normal. And then let's check if they're a male or a female. This one is male because of the XY. This one is female because of XX. Okay, let's go further. State state the origin of each chromosome in a homologous pair during zygote formation. So one will be from maternal, which phenotype. Oh, children of Paul and Lizzie are able to hear. How many children of Paul and Lizzie are able to hear? Okay, so I'm going to count. Paul and Lizzie are able to hear. It's a hearing male and a hearing male and a deaf female. Therefore, it's how many? One, two. They're going to be two. Two children. Then which phenotype is dominant? So let's go and read our thing there. They say one of the deaf one type of deafness one type of deafness in human is carried by a single allele. The diagram below shows the inheritance of deafness in a female. Okay, then this one is deaf, then this one is not deaf. So deafness is a recessive allele. Therefore, hearing is dominant. Why am I saying that uh, uh, hearing is dominant? You must look here. If ever um deafness was dominant, it means that hearing would be recessive, and all of these children would be what? Would be deaf. Let me show you. Let's say maybe let's see also here. So deafness is being marked is being masked here. You see, in John and Mary, deafness is being masked by what? By hearing. So probably deafness is what? Is a recessive and hearing is dominant. Use the phenotype of Bob and Anne to answer to explain your answer from question 2.4.2. Okay? Then we go and say Anne is a hearing it's a hearing male, right? He inherited ted oh yeah, he inherited no. I wanted to say Bob here. He inherited two recessive alleles from his mother and father so that he can be a hearing male, right? Then again to say N is a hearing female and receives the hearing allele from a mother and father. Then that's how we answer it. Okay, let's answer 2.4.4. Use the letter use the letter A to represent the dominant allele, and the letter A to represent the recessive allele. For recessive allele, give all possible genotypes of a hearing individual, right? There will be only two. No, yes. Hearing is dominant, right? A and what? A. So this will be our two stuff. Please work this one. I'm giving you 2 minutes. Okay, let's do correction. I think this would be our last question because I think we did justice. Before I think we did justice. Let me check where we stopped that side. Yes, I think we did justice. Oh, I didn't see question 2.2.5. Says use a genetic cross to show how gender in human offspring is determined by sex chromosomes, right? Okay, then we're going to say P1, then we're going to say phenotype, XY. Phenotype should be what we see, right? Let's start with a male crossed with a female. Then we're going to say genotype of males when XY crossed with XX. Then we're going to have what? Meiosis, gametes, where we're going to have X, Y, X, and X. Then I'm going to show fertilization using what? My Punnett squares. Then X, Y, X, and X. Then we go. There we go. Then what is X and X? X, 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 Y, and X, Y. There we go. Then we say F1, we're going to have the genome type, which is XX to XX to XY, which is phenotype, male and female. There, you're done. Yeah, you could. Yeah, you could, bro. Like, if you don't study the whole day, you're cooked. You're dead. From the extract, identify two areas in the body where the bone density can be mainly measured. Let's read the extract. Researchers have discovered that members of a particular family have high bone density that may be caused by gene mutation. High bone density reduces the risk of bone fractures. 20 members of the family had their bone density measured, spine and hips. Okay, we're going to talk about spine and hips. We're going to talk about spine and then then talk about the ribs. Then describe what gene mutation is. Gene mutation is the change in the sequence of the nitrogenous bases. Then let's hear what they have to say here. Explain why it is necessary. When you see explain, you must have a cause and an effect. Explain why it is necessary for the researchers to collect DNA samples, right? To check gene mutation and also to check if not to check if gene mutation results into a higher bone density. Then state the effects of this mutation. We will have a stronger bones resulting in less bone fractures. Then calculate the percentage of the family members who had normal bone density. Then you're just going to say out of the 20, 13 had a normal, and then you multiply by 100, then you're going to get our 65%. You must comment if you feel like um we should be done. Should I close? Should I take more questions? You should ask more questions. I'm giving you 5 minutes. I removed sound. I had removed sound. I'm just waiting for you guys to ask questions relating to life sciences, and then we close. Okay, guys, I think it's about time I say goodbye to you guys, and we shall meet again next time, provided that there are no more questions. Thank you for joining this live, and may God bless you, and may you write tomorrow to get a total.